Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum. Straight talk about you and your money. Now from the BizTalk studios, here is Gary Kaltbaum.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. And by the way, we mean that when we say that. It's Thursday, July 25th, 2024. Serious talk on everything that affects you and your lives. We'll do the markets, the economy, that they just told us was 2.8% GDP. And did I tell you I beat LeBron in one-on-one yesterday? We'll do the markets, the economy, your industry, jobs, anything that comes up that really matters. Washington, D.C., the election. The Mets, I think, are now 5 games above 500 and just swept the Yankees, which I am thrilled about. And anything else. Thanks for joining us. If you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our Twitter feed, which is now X. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. If you'd like to email me, just be nice. Ladies and gentlemen, so we know, we're not stupid here. We know there's different strokes for different folks. You know, the old cliche. We know there are people that have owned the S&P 500 for the last 20 years. You shouldn't care about what I have to say, if that's the way you play it. I've had people that have held stocks for 25 years that I have met. And fortunately, a lot of them have stocks that have done actually well. Like I met somebody, I've had Walmart for 20 years. And then I've had some that are not so good. What we do here is manage the markets. And we're just big believers. And no perfection, but we're big believers that there is a roadmap to the markets. And as we always say, what we are looking for is launching pads that turn into uptrends. We had a launching pad in gold a few days ago. It didn't work. We're out. Took a little loss. Made good bucks on gold in the last 6 months, but this move didn't. And if we have to board back again, we shall. And then, of course, there's the launching pad of NVIDIA in January. And then off the last earnings report, which gave hay. And then there's Meta, gave hay. We can go on and on. And then you got moments in time. And we have one of those right now, as you know, in the recent past, we have been, how do I put it? Well, we have told you we love technology stocks. And the reason is there's such great growth in these companies because of productivity gains, whether it be software, artificial intelligence, certain types of semiconductor chips that go into this, that, and the other thing. We love growth. Find me a restaurant chain that starts with one restaurant and then ends up with 1,000 in 10 years. Oh, that's going to be a big stock. Find me a retailer that starts with a few stores and ends up with 500 of them. That's what we're always looking for. And I must say that those are kind of like diamonds in the rough, as they say, needles in the haystack, but you try to find them. And then you get moments in time. Recently, we thought we saw a sell signal on technology just 2 Thursdays ago. That was the day the small caps and the mid caps just lit up. They were dormant, comatose. They lit up. And part of that lighting up is what is involved with those small caps and mid caps. And it turns out it's regional banks and other financials. And as we know, regional banks have been dead. some economically sensitive, housing, things that haven't been working. And leading up to that Thursday, we were telling you just avoid these areas, and then Thursday happened. But that day also, we thought there was a sell signal on technology. It reminded us of March 8th, when you had that big, gigantic reversal in the semis and NVIDIA and others. And since then, we had 2 more confirmation days in the NASDAQ, technology, and the like. One occurred on July 17th. That would have been a Wednesday. And by the way, that's the day we sold the rest of our tech. That was Apple and Amazon. We sold all the other tech on that Thursday 2 weeks ago. And we hate not being in technology. We hate it because normally it means the market's in trouble. But what did the market do this time? It rotated into these other areas, which takes me into today. And again, for those that own the S&P for 20 years, you couldn't give a crap, and I don't blame you. We walk into today, and the NASDAQ dropped 600 points yesterday. Let's see, the NASDAQ yesterday, last 17,997, 17,342. 650 whopping points for the NASDAQ yesterday. A huge drop. And early today was down 300. And we're like, wow. And then, after being down 300 at about 10:15, it was up 100 by 11:15. It rallied 400 points. And then, we're not making this up, by 1:15, was up 200. The NASDAQ goes from down 300 to up 200, and it's 1:15 p.m. And we're just thinking to ourselves that, okay, we got a washout, but let's see how we finish. What a washout is after a drop, you open really badly and finish well. After being up 200, we finished down 160 on the NASDAQ today, 201 on the NASDAQ 100. Led by them usual suspects. Remember what we told you, the makeup of the market. And it is stunning. 6 stocks making up 30% of the S&P, 8 of them making up 48% of the S&P. Those 6 stocks are all tech. Of the 8 on the NASDAQ 100, one of them is Costco. So I would like to tell you, we've got a good feel for this shorter term. I didn't have a clue today from minute to minute. Didn't have a clue. But we deal an outcome. And all we can tell you is the tech market and technology, especially big, remains under pressure as they became, and we explained this to you, they became so darn concentrated that just any reversion towards the mean, not back to the mean, because if we ever get back to the mean, they're going to be a lot lower. Any reversion towards the mean on size and scope and concentration takes them down. And that's what we got going today. And I was watching today just trying to hold my tongue the whole time. Down 300, up 200 by 115, and then you finish down 160? With the NASDAQ 100 finishing down 200? So just letting you know, it should be obvious that the semis, the SOX, the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, technology, big tech, mega cap tech. Microsoft was down another 10 today. For instance, AI are still under pressure. Interesting enough today, some of the smaller technology was not bad. I didn't see really any disasters today, a couple, but just overall, not bad. It is definitively a small and mid-cap leading market right now. And that's what did it again today. Mid-caps, small caps, and then that areas, which we'll discuss up next on this, the one and only Investor's Edge.
Hi, I'm Gary Kaltbaum, host of the nationally syndicated radio show Investor's Edge. We're not just handsome radio people. We manage investors' money for a living, specializing in fee-based discretionary money management. No big commissions, just a fee on the assets that's managed. We also provide a full range of personalized services, including retirement planning, fixed income, and educational needs, all to assist you in achieving your financial goals. Understanding not all individuals have the same needs, we'll carefully evaluate your personal goals to determine a proper investment strategy. If your current approach to investing is not getting you to where you would like to be, call us to make an appointment for a complimentary portfolio review. The number to call is 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. Investment advisory services offered through Kaltbaum Capital Management.
It's time to switch on the integrator units and get the brain cells working.
You're listening to
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Investor's Edge
The last bastion of quality programming.
with Gary Kaltbaum.
It doesn't get better than this.
So, we're just letting you know where the money's flowing, and I have to tell you, I hate where the money is flowing. We love growth. We love higher beta. We don't even need higher beta, just some beta. It is regional banks that are still way below the highs of February of a couple of years ago, but definitely on a relative basis near term, strong. The big banks on a relative basis, strong. Better action in the transports today. Truckers had a good day today on some earnings. Steel stocks had a good day today. This is what we call stuff. And then there's the economically sensitive. What do we tell you the two most important we follow? Caterpillar was up 8 today in the Dow. And United Rentals up 38 today to $754. And I must tell you, I was asking myself a question today. Just so you know, I ask myself questions all the time. I don't usually have the answers, but I ask myself questions. United Rentals, one of my favorite economically sensitive stocks to follow. And just so you know what they do, they're equipment rentals to a ton of locations. I think they're in Europe too. The stock, not making this up, yesterday opened at $747, closed at $715. Last I looked, that's 5%, right? Little less than 5%, right? Opens today at $700. So that's $47 on $747. 6 and change in a day. Closed at 754 today, was up almost 8% from the lows. I ask myself, how do you play that? My answer is, I don't have the foggiest idea. We don't like crazy moves up and down. We like tight action. So that happened today. That stood out today. And then you had Goldman Sachs on the strong side, Morgan Stanley, PNC Bank. Regional banks, the KRE was up another 2.5% today. Not the biggest thing, but its recent breakout at 54.50, it's 58.18, not the greatest of moves. But this move actually started at about $52. Talk about 11% in a matter of 10 days for regional banks. Other areas that have relative strength, defense. For a change, oil stocks had a good day today. And they've just been very whippy. Very whippy. Defense, Lockheed Martin yesterday and a little more today. And today, Northrop Grumman. Because, as we say, everybody likes a good war. And I don't know if you know this, but this is true. I believe we spent in the year 2000 a couple of hundred, let me get this right, 200 billion on defense, approximately in and around there. I think we're nearing $1 trillion. And unfortunately, the Pentagon tells us they can't account for like $1 trillion worth of crap. By the way, one of the first things I would do as president is sit down with the Pentagon and say, is it okay if I make you more accountable? Because they're much bigger than me. They probably kick my butt if I was too mean. Anyway, so defense and the financials, as I've said, and it's not just the banks. It's some of these, you ever hear of Evercore? It's mergers and acquisition. Strong. And then reactions to earnings. Do you know Ameriprise today was up 17? Molina Health, this is one of the weaker managed care stocks, up 35. Though, by the way, it was up about 60 at one time. ServiceNow, this is one of those software companies, up $97 today, 13%. Was up about 120. And that helps some others in the group today. Very good move. You had some hospitals up today. Raytheon, IBM was up 8. So a lot of jello moving on the plate. So I got to deal with that right now. And of course, well, that was the good side. Did I tell you that Booking Holdings was down 150? How about West Pharmaceuticals down 14? These are earnings. The pharmaceuticals down 46. Did I tell you Eli Lilly broke the 50-day today handily on volume, down $39 today? Edwards Life Sciences, you ready for this? Down 31%. Medical products company today, down $24 to $63. Lamb Research down 25. Equinix 24. Did I tell you Lululemon? What the hell is going on there? Down another $24 to $247. So while there's good, Teradyne Semiconductor down 19 today on a big gap. So again, let me repeat. Dang. I'm just trying to keep my wits about me. I'm thankful and grateful we sold the tech out. Not happy I bought the gold again, but very small minor drawdown. I'll live, though I hate losing a penny. And we'll see where this takes us, because I got to tell you, the action's insane. And today, let me repeat, NASDAQ down 300 to up 200 to down 160 at the close. And I got to ask, hey, Gary, how do you play this? I'll tell you how. You run for the hills. You close your eyes, hold your nose, and pray. Of course, I've told you plenty of times I tried that and it does not work. And we have a couple of thousand more earnings reports to come out in the weeks ahead. We'll have, I believe, next week, Apple, Amazon. They're hitting Google on earnings. They're crushing Microsoft and Meta right now. They topped out Apple before earnings. Even Costco's coming in right now. The semiconductors acting like the south end of a northbound jackass right now after leading the market. I was asked on TV today if I thought it was a bubble in AI and it popped. You know what my answer was? It better not be. In case you don't know, bubbles, when they pop, they drop 50 to 75%. Seriously. So I'm not there on that, but we'll keep a watch out. And our goal right now with all this tech is just be patient. Let it go through the motions. Let it go through the process. If it keeps going lower, you got nothing to do. If all of a sudden one day it finds an area of support and then stops going down and then for a couple of weeks sits around and turns up, good. Today had a chance to put in what we call a washout. Didn't happen. Maybe tomorrow. Up next, this, that, and the other thing and whatever else. This is the one only Investor's Edge.
Listening to
America is talking.
Investor's Edge.
He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy.
With Gary Kaltbaum.
Comes highly recommended. You're going to feel better if you talk to him.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. In the news, Southwest Airlines finally listened to me. They listened to me. Years ago, I forgot where I was, but I actually was on one of their flights with an upper management guy at Southwest Airlines. And I don't even remember his name. But I introduced myself. Did not know I was on Fox or anything, but I introduced and said, by the way, I'm on Fox News as a Fox News business contributor. And I said to the person, do you mind if I gave you a constructive thought? And I just said, how the heck are you not charging for seats like everybody else? How are you still doing this, getting on the plane ABC and not monetizing it? Yes, you can pay a little money to be an A, so you get on first and get whatever seat you want. But all these other airlines are, just coining money. And just remember, I was one that said to you, one of my beauties, I said to you, there's no way people are going to go for this. No way people are going to pay for luggage. No way people are going to pay for seats. Then again, I thought the iPod was just another Walkman. And I said to him, you need to get rid of this idea. Go charge people just because everybody else is. And then I said to him, you also should change your seats. Have some premium seats at front. People aren't going to get mad at that. They're going to love that. And people are going to pay up for that. Well, that was like 10 years ago, so I doubt they got it just from me. But guess what they're doing? Southwest is finally going to be monetizing. And that's smart. It's smart. I just haven't understood that they didn't. And I guess, look, I think Southwest has some of the best people working for them, the nicest people. The onboard people are sweet as can be. The staff is terrific, so whatever training they do is fabulous. This was a good move. They needed to fix it. So Southwest, just letting you know. And if you noticed, I'm a big traveler, so I love talking about this stuff. Next, not necessarily in the news as we segue back to the market. I really am asked a lot about playing before earnings. Why not? Well, I've noticed there are some courageous people on TV that will actually tell you 2 days before earnings you should buy it today. I'm so confident. I remember one of them did that. I don't remember, it was 9 months ago, 6 months ago with Netflix, and it opened down 50 the next day. And I doubt they were ever asked about it on TV again. There is a simple reason why we are shy about that. And it's a simple reason I can give you right now about the goings on in the market as I speak. You see, there is a company called Dexcom that is a medical product company, I believe for diabetes. What is it, glucose monitoring? It closed at $108. $108. It's $72 in the aftermarket. Last I looked, that's like 34%. I got my rusty abacus in my head. Well, that's number one. Number two, Deckers. Well, first off, the stock has gone from 1,100 down to 841 in the last 6 weeks. It's 908 in the aftermarket, up 8%. You think anybody knew that Dexcom would be down 30-something, but Deckers would be up 8? Don't think so. Norfolk Southern closed at 223, down from 263. It's at 240 in the aftermarket. Nice move, almost 8%. You think anybody would have any idea that Norfolk Southern would do that? I didn't. That's your answer. I don't have the grapefruits. I can tell you in the last 6 months we got lucky on Meta. The reason why we held into earnings, and then in February earnings the stock closed at like $390 and opened up at $470. It's because we owned it at $340, I believe. Somewhere around there, we're up $50, so we had cushion. But if I buy something today at $110, and 3 weeks from now it's $111, and they have to report earnings, I got decisions to make. That is part of my process. I'm different than others, not 100%, but that is part of the process. And I've seen great stocks gap down. I've seen crap stocks gap up. Next on the market, Eli Lilly. Completely broke today. Dropped $39 to $821. It is off the highs now of blah, blah. You know, if I can... It was $966 7 days ago to $821. My wondering is the greatness of capitalism is the ability of another company to come out with something that somebody already is doing that maybe is not on patent or they can do it better or different, or you get my point. I think there's a lot of that going on, but I'm also, remember what we've told you in the long run, there is no way to stay skinny with a drug if you're not exercising and eating right ultimately. Because once you come off the drug, you go right back to where you came from if you're not exercising and eating well. That's why we don't believe in fad diets unless you stay on them forever. It's exercise, but don't get me wrong, this obesity drugs have worked wonders in the short run. I'm interested to see how they work in the long run. And the good news is a lot of companies have been coming out with, here's what you should be doing in conjunction with. So we'll see. I hope it works because I believe obesity is one of the biggest problems for our healthcare system. I read like a couple of years ago somewhere that if everybody in the country lost 20 pounds, that the spending on healthcare would be down billions. I know I read it somewhere. I should have kept it. I think they're true. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm very interested in seeing how this plays out. Because I'm not going to use the word hype, but there was a lot of noise around it. And I have seen miracles of people what they were before and then after using. But I repeat, once you get off of it, then what are you going to do? So just letting you know, Eli Lilly and that other one, NVO, that's broken down also as stocks. Wanted to bring that up. But overall money flows, small and mid versus big. Financials, regional banks, big banks, other financials. Stuff. Even oils had a good day. Stuff. Defense stocks. AutoZone and O'Reilly Automotive today. Steel today. Oh, by the way, Southwest Airlines was up $1.50 today, which is about 6% on that news. Wish I had other things to tell you. The glamour stocks are now, this second, out of fashion. It started 2 weeks ago, and thought there was a chance for some sort of a line in the sand today. Maybe it's tomorrow. Did not finish too well today. Again, our favorite line, tomorrow is another day. But I got to tell you, today, the head was on a swivel. And we're just happy we did not experience it, except for the stupid gold, which really pissed me off because it looked really good. Remember, what we're looking for is launching pads, turning into uptrends, and boy, it looked like it was ready to go a third time. And by the way, I'd buy it again if it did it again. Up next, we cover the great con job. Thanks for being here. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
You're listening to
What are we waiting for?
Well, what are you waiting for?
1, 2, ready, go.
Action!
Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum.
Okay. Just a reminder of a few things. And just so you know, we're not here to sway. We're here to state facts, good or bad. Bad or good. With no bias, agenda, or ulterior motive. First off, in case you didn't see all the anti-Semitic Jew haters last night, they continue to show themselves. They defaced American legacy statues and then burned the our flag. So they're showing who they are. They're vile. They're violent. What I don't understand is I can only do things based on if I was the president of the United States. Every one of those scumbags would be arrested. They are attacking a police. They were threatening lives. They all be arrested. And I would indict some of them with terror. And then watch what happens. There's got to be a point. Enough's enough. Kamala Harris comes out today with, yeah, we didn't like this. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm just go by me how I feel. While it's going on, if I'm the president or a candidate, I'm coming out with it. Now, let's wait a day because we need to decide on how we're going to say things or how we're going to do things, and we don't want to piss off this voting bloc. It's just, anyway, the good news is, this is the good news. It is a minority of people. 99 point some odd % of us don't do what these morons are doing. The Biden administration just came out and said that Iran is funding a bunch of this. Duh, we had no idea, right? Through nefarious channels. Like to know more about that. But the good news is they show who they are. And then the politics of Pelosi saying Netanyahu is a this, that, and the other thing, and a criminal, and blah, 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 blah. That's all politics. Schumer trying to get Bibi Netanyahu out in Israel, just all politics. It has nothing to do with good or bad or indifferent. These people have no conscience, no soul. It's just all about how are we going to get elected. So I couldn't give a crap about these people. But I do want to let you know a couple of thoughts here. Number one, let's start with Joe Biden. I'm actually happy for him. I am dealing with a 92 and a 90-year-old father and mother, and they are going, what I guess you call it, downhill. My mom definitively has, in the last 3 months, downhill. And God bless it, I guess man and a woman supposed to live only 78, 79, whatever. They're in their 90s and they've been self-sufficient, so every day's a great day. I'm happy for Joe Biden because he should throw everything aside and just enjoy the rest of your life. It's 100% certainty there are health issues. Take care of yourself. So I'm happy the pricks forced him out. I'm happy about it. He shouldn't have to deal with this another 4 years. Remember, I'm no fan of the guy and his policies. I am a fan of people, human beings. So that's on one end. And I wish him nothing but good health. But I want to make sure you know the great con. The media, in collusion with celebrity, in collusion with the higher-ups in the Democratic Party, screwed Joe Biden in ways we have never seen and are delivering and messaging the gargantuan con on you. I just want to make sure you know that. And I know you know that. And the fact the media won't talk about it tells you they're blacking it out. This is how it went. His poll numbers went down. They don't want to lose. You think they care about his health? They don't give a crap. His poll numbers went down, state by state. He would be the loser in the election. They can't afford for that to happen. They want to keep their power. So it starts with the celebrities. Why? They have influence. They get the Clooneys out there and some other of these people to yap away. That's where it starts. Then they get some of the newspaper op-ed jackasses who have been kissing Biden's ass for 2 years. 3 years, they come out. Joe, you got to go. We love you. We love you. Then you get the late night idiots. We love you, but you got to go. And then all of a sudden, Senator, House, they start coming out in droves. And then they threaten them with Article 25. They threaten them. We will kick your ass out if you don't resign at the end of your term and not run. That's all that happened here. And of course, the other con is now they tell you how much they love him. He's the greatest. What a great record. He's marvelous. He's fantastic. The great con. And the latest, in plain sight. For 3 years, they were reporting that Kamala Harris was named the border czar. All the media reported, border czar. Now they're telling you, they were wrong. She was never made the border czar. And why are they doing that? Because she sucked on the border, did nothing about the border. Complete failure on the border. And due to the fact that Biden's poll numbers on the border were less than root canal and jock itch, they're afraid that her poll numbers will do the same. So what they're doing? Perpetrating another con on you. By the way, this is all out there. The video of the media saying border czar and heading up the border and heading up the border and heading up immigration, that's all they talked about. And then she failed. And now they're all backing away. So I just want to make sure you know These people don't care about you. You're just a bunch of marks and votes. Please do your homework. By the way, both sides, just do your homework. We will cover both sides with no bias, agenda, ulterior motive. We just want somebody to get in there and do a good job. And I don't care if it's an R or D, but I'm letting you know it's game on. Go look at the videos of what kind of scam they're trying to perpetrate on you. And we're done. Tomorrow we'll be on with Cavuto. The great Neil Cavuto, noon hour, Fox Business Network. Until tomorrow's same time radio show, have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. Have a great one, everybody. Really appreciate you here. Big time. Good night.
This has been Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum on BizTalk. To listen to past episodes or to get in contact with Gary, go to GaryK.com. That's GaryK.com.